As the freezing wind blasted directly into her face, she struggled to climb higher, trying to reach the pressure release valve mounted on top of the hot air balloon. After an exhausting effort, she finally made it to the very top. Using both hands, she tried to open the valve, but at an altitude of 10,000 meters, it had completely frozen shut. Left with no other choice, she began kicking it over and over with all her strength. After countless attempts, the valve finally opened. The cold was so brutal that her entire body wouldn't stop shaking, but if the valve froze shut again, everything would be over, so she kept kicking it non-stop. Then she pulled out a small knife from her pocket and cut off her shoelaces. After that, she wedged one of her shoes into the valve to keep it permanently open, but the lack of oxygen and the deadly cold at that altitude pushed her body to its limit, and she collapsed right there on top of the balloon. As soon as the valve opened, the balloon slowly began descending, and its size started shrinking. A little while later, when she opened her eyes, she realized she was hanging upside down at 10,000 meters above the ground. The rope tied around her waist had saved her life. She shouted loudly to her partner James, who was standing in the basket below, but he didn't move at all. The extreme altitude had caused him to lose consciousness. Now she had no other option. She started swinging her body back and forth. After using every ounce of strength she had, she somehow managed to reach the support rod and slowly pulled herself back into the basket. She immediately rushed to James, calling out his name again and again, but he gave no response. Tears filled her eyes. Then suddenly a miracle happened. James slowly started regaining consciousness. As the balloon continued descending, the temperature began getting slightly warmer, but then, all of a sudden, snow started falling from the sky. At first, it seemed normal, but then she noticed something strange. The snowflakes around them looked almost frozen in place. That's when she realized the balloon's falling speed had become almost identical to the speed of the falling snow. If this continued, they would crash into the ground and be shattered to pieces. She immediately shut the valve and began throwing everything out of the basket. Within moments, the basket was completely empty, but the balloon was still dropping rapidly. Then James suddenly understood something. He said that the basket itself was the heaviest thing attached to the balloon. He told her to climb onto the iron ring above them and cut the ropes holding the basket. She did exactly that, and the basket fell away beneath them. For a single moment, it felt like the danger had passed, but in the very next second, they realized the balloon was still plummeting toward the ground at terrifying speed.